Hello, your friendly neighborhood gypsy here, coming at you tonight with a painting called Pumpkin Glow. And when it's called Pumpkin Glow, it is going to glow. This is going to be a really fun painting to do, and it also has a hidden surprise in it. Now, usually when I do these paintings, we already have the canvas prepped and ready to go, and then we just, after I show you the supplies you need, we just go right into the painting. On this one, I'm actually going to take you step by step through the entire creation process. That means showing how we get the canvas prepped all the way into the painting and all the way to the end. Now, what makes this one extremely interesting and extremely fun is we're not going to use regular acrylic paint on it. Tonight we are using a mixture of regular acrylic craft paint and tube neon paint. Now, when I show you the supplies, you'll understand what I'm showing you, what I'm telling you right now. But the thing of it is I got an itch, thanks. The thing of it is that we are going to do this painting that's blacklight reactive. And like I said, there's a little surprise in it, and you'll find out what that little surprise is. But without any further ado, I'm going to take you through the entire creation process from beginning to end. You'll see exactly how to put a stencil on a canvas. If you haven't watched my videos on tracers, you should really do that. They're on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. But if you haven't watched them, this will be a good way to see exactly how to do a tracer. So, creation process from beginning to end with Pumpkin Glow. Let's get to it. What you're seeing here, this is an 11 by 14 gallery stretch canvas. Now, what gallery stretch canvas means is it means there's no staples on these edges at all. Okay? It's been stretched so that it has these nice little clean seams all the way around. You can see it here on all four sides. The staples are on the back side, but they're not on the side here where they'd be visible. So this is gallery stretch canvas. This is an 11 by 14 inch piece of gallery stretch canvas. That's what we're going to be doing the painting on, is 11 by 14. So, to put your stencil on, this is the tracer right here for Pumpkin Glow. That's the tracer, and we're going to transfer that onto this canvas. Now, the way we do this is we use carbon paper, just regular carbon paper. You can get it at Office Max, Office Depot, any place like that. So I'm going to grab a couple of sheets of it out here, if you'll let me grab it out. I just love it when things are difficult, when you're trying to show someone something. Okay, we're going to grab 2 sheets of this. Very thin and a little delicate, so be careful with it. You don't want to rip it. We'll put this to one side. Alright, so you have your 2 sheets of carbon paper. One side is this dull looking gray, the other side is this black. It is the black side that transfers the stencil. So what you're going to do, I want you to lay the carbon onto your gallery stretch canvas, just like that. Overlap one of them. Then you're going to use painter's tape. This is blue painter's tape. If you have green painter's tape, use that. I actually prefer green painter's tape over the blue. But right now what I have is blue, so that's what we're going to use. So tear off a little piece, and what you want to do is you want to carefully put it on your carbon. Lift up your canvas once you have that piece on your carbon and just press it underneath the canvas, just like that. Do the same over here on this side. Tear off a little piece, press it on your carbon, lift up your canvas, and press it under the canvas. You're going to do that in 4 other places. You're going to do one right below the seam. So you'll go right below the seam, you lift up your canvas, and you'll press that in there. Make sure this stays tight. You want this all tight. Tear off a little piece of tape. Press it on there, lift up your canvas, put it underneath. Now you're going to do the same up here at the top. Little piece of tape. Press it onto the carbon, lift up the canvas, press it underneath. Remember, you got to keep this tight. And again, do it again. We're going to go right here. You'll lift up the canvas, press underneath. So now your carbon's on there, nice and tight. It's not going to move. You don't want that to move. Okay? Next thing we're going to do is we are going to take your tracer, we're going to lay it over the top of the canvas, and then just like we did with the carbon, we're going to put tape in a couple places. We're going to put tape here down at the bottom, press underneath, take a little piece on this side, put down here at the bottom, lift it, press underneath. Now see that bolt? Can you see that? See how it bowed? That happens sometimes. If that happens to you, pull your tape back and just pull it down tight again. So just pull it tight and pull it under, okay? So you want to keep that tight, just like you did with the carbon. You want to keep that tight. Now go to the top and do the same thing at the top. Keep your tracer even on the canvas. And just right at the top, keep this tight. Just do that, okay? That's all there is to that. Now that's secure on there. Next, get a number 2 pencil, just a regular pencil like you used in school, and you're going to start tracing. Now what I always suggest is trace in sections. Start at the top, work your way down. So like in this case, I'm going to start here on the left, and I'm just going to trace over those lines. I'm going to press down with the pencil. Make sure you press down, because you want that to go through and to the carbon paper and onto the canvas. So just press down, follow your lines, just like so. And you do this in sections. That way you know exactly where you have traced at. You don't go, did I trace that? I don't remember. If you just trace this in sections, you don't have to try to remember whether you traced an area or not, because you know you already did that section. Okay. It's pretty simple. You're just taking that pencil and you're following that line and you're pressing in with the pencil. Don't try to do this lightly. You got to press into it, because you got to see your lines on the canvas. Just like so. So this is my first section. And again, I don't have to guess whether I did this or not, because I did it in sections. Come down here, I'm going to do this. And that takes care of that section right there. That's done. I'm done with that. We're going to trace a little bat here. We're going to call him a section. He's a sectional bat. So we're going to trace our little bat here. No, this is not the bat signal. Batman is not going to appear on this canvas. This is just a little bat that's flying through the Halloween nighttime sky. That's done. We're going to do our moon. Now, here's the deal on doing round circles. Don't try to go all at once, because you'll go out of lines. It don't hurt to do it in small sections and then join those sections. Watch. Come here, do a little tiny section like so. Okay? Then do another little tiny section and come back and join those two sections together like that. Do another little tiny section and then join those two sections together just like that. You do another tiny little section, then join those two sections together. If you do it this way, you can get a perfectly round circle. Just like that. Do a little section, join those two sections together. Do another little section, join those two sections together, and then join your last two sections together right here. And it's done. That's it. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do this tree right here. That's another section for me. So I'm just going to come up here, trace this tree out, just like so. And you can see how fast you can trace this. You don't have to be perfect. Let me repeat that. You don't have to be perfect. It don't have to be just right dead on the line and I have to make sure it's absolutely perfect, and if it isn't perfect I got to go in there and I got to redo the whole thing. No, you don't. You just follow the line as close as you can, and again, it does not have to be perfect, especially when you're talking about things like trees. Okay, you're going to overpaint the tree. What overpainting means is that you're going to come in and you're going to apply this paint, and it is going to go over the lines that you are putting down right now. So if the lines aren't absolutely perfect, it's no big deal. It honestly is no big deal. So just trace out your tree. Like I said, you see how fast this is going. This goes really quick. You don't have to spend a lot of time doing this. Come here. If you are spending a lot of time, I would advise you to do some practice ones, not necessarily with the carbon, but do some printouts and just trace over the printouts, not trying to transfer them onto canvas or anything else, just trace over the top of the printout and start getting used to how your hand moves with the pencil and how it moves tracing an object. Now see, that tree's done. There's another section completely out of the way. Our next step is going to be to do the pumpkin. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come here with the pumpkin, and I'm going to start on the top right here. I'm just going to come up, follow this around, just like that. One single motion. Notice I have not lifted my pencil from the paper. It's just one smooth motion all the way around. Again, pressing in so that the transfer happens. Okay? So we got the stem done. I'm going to come down here to this little grass that's down here at the bottom. And we're going to put that little grass in there, like so. Get that little grass in there. We got another section right here, has a little grass in it. We'll do this grass over here. See, right now I don't have to guess whether I traced over something. By doing these sections like this, I know that I've got everything. I'm going to do this clump of grass over here now. Now the original of this from Paint Party Headquarters did not have the jack-o'-lantern face and did not have the bat. I added the jack-o'-lantern face and the bat because I want to make this more Halloweeny. Not so much fall, but Halloweeny. And so I added the mouth, the nose, the eyes, did the bat up here. Now, I got the grass traced. See the shadow that's down here below? I'm going to trace that out. We'll just bring that right up here. And it's traced. All one smooth movement. Now, I'm going to do the eyes on the pumpkin. Just come up here. Just simple straight lines. Just do your little straight lines. They're triangles. These are curved at the bottom, and then curve the eye just like that. Again, trace this eye. Come down here. Come across. Now what we didn't talk about was that this is two separate sheets for the 11 by 14. It's an 11 by 14 splicer. That means that I printed blew it up to 11 by 14, then printed 2 sections on my printer, and then just lined them up and taped them with Scotch tape. So I'd have an 11 by 14 sheet. Pretty easy to do. If you have any sort of graphics program on your computer, you can cut the stencil in half. You can blow it up, but of course, if you have purchased a kit or you've purchased a tutorial, I've already done that work for you. You got the 11 by 14 tracer already. Okay, that's the mouth, the eyes, and the nose. They're done. Now we'll just do the pumpkin. So I'm going to do these inside lines first. I'm just going to come here and curve that over. I'll come here and I'll curve this over, like so. Okay, then I'm going to do the bottom ones. Just come in here and bring them in. Then I'm going to do these top ones, these outside ones. Just come along. You can do this in sections like you did the moon, or you can do one smooth line like I'm doing right here, just like that. Okay, and do the same over here, just one smooth line, or do it in sections like you did on the moon. And just come down. And that's done. Then I'm going to do this inside one here. So I'm just going to come down. I'm not going to go through the mouth or the eyes. I'm going to avoid the mouth and eyes. I'm going to do this bottom right here. Come right here. I'm going to do my curve over the top. And I have now traced the entire stencil. That whole stencil is traced. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remove our tape. And we are going to remove the carbons. And we're going to see, oh, see the tape's being stubborn. That's all like the green one. The green one ain't quite as stubborn as the blue one. Let me get this tape removed. Do the ones up here at the top. Ah, the tape's attacking me. Let go, evil tape. Okay, come here. Get this one off. The same over here. Get this off this sheet. Set your tracer to one side. You don't need it anymore. Just set it off to one side. Carefully, because you can reuse these carbons several times, carefully remove your tape from the carbon. Try not to rip the carbon, okay? Just take it off real careful. Just like so. We're going to do the same thing over here. Take the tape off carefully. We're going to do it here. This one's going to be stubborn. Take the tape off the carbon carefully. And take your carbons and put them back in the package that they came out of. Now, you can see we have that whole image traced onto this canvas. Now you can do your painting using just this if you're not afraid of losing your lines. Okay? However, I'm going to be using a lot of black in this, and I want to use the black in it. I definitely do. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use the mark slot, and I'm going to go over everything with the mark slot. So I'll be back with you in just a minute, okay? As soon as I do this. You don't need to see me go over this with mark slot. It's the same as if I was doing the tracer. So I will be back with you shortly. Just see you in a minute. Alright, we're back. You see I have traced the whole thing with Sharpie, and it's just a regular Sharpie. Just Sharpie pen. We trace the whole thing with Sharpie. Now, you can choose to do it with just a carbon stencil or to trace it with Sharpie. For what I want to do here, I wanted it traced with Sharpie. but you don't have to trace it with Sharpie. You can just use the carbon stencil that you made. Now, what I like to do with my canvas before I start working on it is I like to flip it over, and I like to take some of the painter's tape, and I like to kind of put it on the back side here on these edges like that. What this does is it keeps my canvas from moving around while I am painting on it. It kind of holds it in a steady place, which I personally find very helpful. I don't like chasing my canvas around the table. Now, you may like chasing your canvas around the table, and if you do, hey, it's your world. I'm just passing through it. But as for me, I like to go ahead and stabilize my canvas on the table. So I'm going to put about 8 pieces of tape on this thing. Each corner, in the middle at the top, and in the middle at the bottom, and a piece each on the sides. And then, as soon as I get that tape on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over carefully, like so. I'm going to position it on the table where I want it, which is going to be right about here. I'm going to put down the bottom first. I'm going to lay the bottom down first. Then I'll set the top down, and I'll press it in. Now that canvas is going to stay solid for me, see, while I do the painting. I won't have to chase around the table. So let's go over the supplies now that you're going to need to do this painting. Let's talk about the brushes first. You're going to need a liner brush. Okay. You're going to need a number 6 or a number 8 round brush. You can use either one, number 6 or number 8 round. And you're going to need a flat brush. You can go anywhere from a 5/8 to a 3/4 inch to a 1 inch. This one is a 3/4 inch. You might want to think about 3/4 inch or 5/8 inch for doing this particular painting. You're also going to need a palette. Now you can use paper plates as a palette. This here is my handy dandy palette that I've had for years. It's a Teflon cutting board, $1.99 from Walmart. You can tell it's very well used. Anyway, this is my palette, but you will need a paint palette, whether it's a paper plate or whether it's a professional paint palette or a $1.99 cutting board from Walmart. You're going to need a wipe cloth. You got to have a wipe cloth, okay? Because you got to wipe your brushes off. So you need that. Don't use paper towels unless you just have to, because they will tear and what have you. If you can use a wipe cloth, please do. Now, when we send out art kits, we send out napkins just in case someone don't have a wipe cloth, but an old rag for a wipe cloth is preferable. You also need rinse water to rinse your brushes in. Very important. Clean rinse water. Cup's not that clean, but the rinse water is. Now, let's talk about the paints that we're going to use here. Remember I said at the top of the video that we're going to use a combination of craft paint and tube paint. So let's talk about the craft paint first. This is a Deco Art Americana Titanium White. Okay? We're going to keep this on hand. We may or may not use this. This is an if right here, but I always have it on hand just in case. We will be using this. This is a Deco Art Americana Lamp Black. I like Deco Art because it goes on a little bit thicker, so that's why I use it. We will be using that. This is a Folk Art glow-in-the-dark paint. Now, I'm going to be using neon tube paints to do this painting. However, Folk Art does make a very nice black light neon paint. So, if you want to get that instead of the tube paint, that's fine. But I'm going to use the tube paint on this one. But we are going to use a Deco Art glow-in-the-dark. Not black light, but glow-in-the-dark paint. Now let's talk about the tube paints we're going to be using. We're going to be using a neon yellow, a neon green. These are Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby, by the way. We are going to use this is a neon pink. We'll be using that. We'll be using a neon, I love this color right here. This is a neon orange. Okay, so we'll be using that. We'll be using a neon purple. It's kind of hard to see. It kind of looks black, but it isn't. It's purple. And we'll be using a neon blue. Okay, pretty simple. So, those are our paints. Those are our brushes. That's all our supplies we're going to need. Oh, you also will need something to drink. Always have my cup of ice water handy nearby. Alright, so what do you say we get started on this painting? Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan to me. So we're going to start with the neon purple. That is what we're starting with today. Now if this is like most Master's Touch, which it is, has a little piece of foil over the end. So I gotta get that little piece of foil off of there. Oh, arg. Ah, look at that, I got paint on me. Surprise, surprise. Okay, we're gonna throw some of that out there. We'll be using quite a bit of this, so I put quite a bit on there. Set this to one side. Alright, a lot of times I tell you on the craft paint not to wet your brush on your first pass. In this case we're wetting the brush. Now get your brush wet. When you use tube paints, a lot of times you want to go ahead and wet your brush. Kind of dry it off a little bit, you just want it damp, okay? You don't want it soaking wet. Pull out the tube paint just like I've told you to do on the craft paints before. Just pull that out. Then come in here and I want you to cover as much area as you can using this brush without going over things that you shouldn't be going over. So we're going to come here and we're just going to, as much as we can cover with this particular brush. This will save us some time is what it will do. Okay. I'm going to come up here. Got some areas here I can hit with it. Back up in here, over in here. Get a little bit right in there. And I want to hit a little bit in here. Notice how I'm just kind of brushing this up in here. There's a reason for that, which you'll find out. I just want to brush up a little bit in here. Okay? So now, once you get that done, go ahead and clean that brush out. And I want you to come back in with your number 6 or your number 8 round, whichever one you have, and I want you to fill in the gaps. We're going to wet that. We'll pull out our paint here. We're going to fill in the gaps. Don't worry about the texture on here. The texture is actually going to add to this, but we want these gaps filled in. This is actually a fairly quick painting to do. This should not take you, after you have your stencil and everything done, should only take roughly about an hour to do it. Of course, I'm guesstimating, but that's what I'm saying. It's my story and it's sticking to me. Should only take about an hour to do this. We'll find out if I'm right or not. So I want you to fill in those gaps. Just like so. Come over here, get these gaps over here. Don't worry about this up here yet, okay? We just want to get these gaps down here taken care of first. Just fill those in. Just like so. This is a great little Halloween painting here. This is one you can decorate your house with at Halloween time and have a lot of fun. Get together with your family and friends and you all make one. Everybody have one for their own house. Okay, now come up here into these areas here. I want you to fill in these gaps up here. Fill this right in here like this. Do not go past the point where you put your brush stroke there. Come in here and do the same thing down here. Just kind of fill that in until you touch your brush stroke. Come over here and do the same thing. Fill that in. Come up until you touch your brush stroke. Just like so. Do the same here. Come up. Touch that brush stroke. Come over here on this side. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to fill in your gaps over here. Gaps down the side. Don't miss those. Come over here and fill in these areas here like so. Come up here and just touch your brush stroke. Don't go past that brush stroke. Alright. Fill in here. You want to come part way up. Don't come all the way up in here. Just you want maybe about halfway up. Right in that area right there. Okay. Get this here. And go in here and get this right in here. Okay. Don't pass this area right here. You just want to put a little bit in there like that. Now, I want you to take that purple, and what I want you to do is where your brush strokes are, I want you to brush up like this. Leave it kind of ragged looking right there on the end. Come in here, fill this area here, kind of match all of this here. Just want you to kind of brush that up. Just brush it up. Leave it looking a little ragged on the end. Come across the top of your pumpkin, do the same thing. Just put your paint in there, kind of brush it up, and leave it looking a little ragged on the end. Just like that. Make sure that you get the paint around the edge of the pumpkin done. Come over here, do the same thing on this side. You just want to kind of brush this up a little bit and leave it looking ragged on the end. Just like so. Do it over here too. Right in here. Brush up a little bit. Lift that brush up when you get to the end of the stroke. Leave it kind of ragged on the end. Just like so. Okay? Now, next thing you're going to do is you're going to clean your brush. Clean, clean, clean. And you're going to get your neon blue. Now, of course, just like with the purple, I'm going to have to get that little piece of foil off of the top. I just want to make it difficult for everybody. You know, it'd be nice if it just snapped right off there real easy, but of course they don't. So I'm getting it off here. If I can get my fingers on it. There we go. And of course, once again, I got paint on my finger. Alright. Let's get some of this blue. We'll put a little bit of blue down there. What we're going to do with that blue is we're going to take our big brush again, and it's still moist, okay? We don't have to wet it. We're going to pull this out, this blue out. Then I want you to hit all the big areas up in here with the blue. Just get all the way around there with the blue. Go completely around the moon. Every place where you can fill in a big area of blue, just fill in a big area of blue. Just get it in there. Go completely around there. Fill that in. Don't touch your purple, okay? But every place where you can get that big area of blue, just slap that big area of blue in there. Just gonna Get it in there. Slap it in over here. Get some of it up in there. This will save you some work. The more you can get in there, the better off you're going to be. Save you some time, save you some work. And who don't want to save time, right? Okay, so once you get that blue in there with your big brush, go ahead and clean your big brush out. Get all clean. This up here. Alright. Now, I'm going to have to get a little more blue because I don't have enough blue there. This blue's kind of thick. So I'm going to wet down the brush a little bit since that blue's kind of thick. I'm going to pull some of it out here. Okay, what I want you to do without touching the purple, I want you to go in here and fill in your gaps. Just like you did with the purple, but do not touch the purple with the blue. Just go and fill in all of your gaps around that whole painting. If you want to smooth out your blue paint a little bit, now's the time to do it while you're doing this. See how that's kind of smoothing that out? So go in here, just fill in these areas with your blue. Like I said, do not touch the purple with the blue. Go around your moon. I remember years ago when I was a kid, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. There was a harvest moon on Halloween night. I still, to this day, I can still see it in my mind's eye. See that big orange harvest moon coming up over the horizon on Halloween night. And as a kid, that was amazing. Even as an adult, I would find it amazing. It just added that right touch of Halloween spookiness to the night. It's the type of moon that you expect to see on a Halloween night. And it was not disappointing in any way, shape, or form. I remember that Halloween. That was a good Halloween. I scored big time on treats. Yeah, I won't lie. I had candy for at least a month after Halloween. I scored big, man. That was the year I hit the jackpot. Of course, my dentist was pleased too because of all the cavities I got. He made some money off of me. All right, we got to fill all that area in. There's a lot of blue here. So just keep working until you get it all filled in there. Going all the way around the bat. There does not have to be any rhyme or reason here. You're not really trying to completely smooth this blue out. You kind of want to leave it patchy. So don't start thinking that you have to get solid with the blue. Okay, that it has to just be the solid blue. We do want to leave this patchy. It will add to the overall effect, especially when we put the black light on it. It will be amazing. So, get all those areas filled in. I know it seems like a lot, but it is a lot. There's a lot of blue here. If you like blue, then this is your painting. If you don't like blue, I'm terribly sorry. You still have to do the painting. You signed up for it, so let's do it. Maybe you'll like blue by the time it's done. Blue happens to be my favorite color, so this isn't bothering me one little bit. Love the color blue. Some people love the color purple. They made a movie about it too. I know that was a bad dad joke. I'm the king of bad dad jokes, so you'll just have to forgive me for that. Get all this filled in. I am going to be having for Halloween a party at my house and patio party, and I'm inviting a whole bunch of my friends over, and I hope they come because we're going to have fun that night. And if they don't come, then I'll be very disappointed. But no, I think my friends will come. My friends always look for an opportunity to have a party. I'll wet my brush a little bit because that blue is getting a little dry. Anyway, it should be a lot of fun. What are you doing for Halloween? You going to a party, or are you going to stay in and answer the door to trick-or-treaters? What is your big plan? Are you going to protect your house from getting TP'd and egged? Well, I was a teenager in high school. I went to small town country school, and there was this place called Ross's Drive-In that we all hung out at. And on Halloween night, we'd gather down there. There was a little bridge by a creek next to Ross's, and we'd gather down there, and we'd come down with our eggs, we'd come down with our sacks of flour, and we would have wars. We'd break off into teams and we'd have wars with each other. Man, we made them. It was, capture the bridge. We made a mess of that bridge. Well, we made a mess of ourselves, too. We could have been put on a griddle and been made into pancakes, But we had a good time. We had a good time. That's all that mattered, was having a good time. So we're going to come in here, get this. Okay, once you get all your blue taken care of, what I want you to do is I want you to come back in here with your blue. If you need to wet your brush, if you think your blue is too dry, do it. Wet your brush, okay? I want you to come in here and I want you to grab some of that blue. Remember how we feathered this purple up? What I want you to do is I want you to feather that blue down towards the purple. Feather it down towards the purple. If you override the purple a little bit, that's okay. I don't want you to override it a lot, but if you override it a little bit, it's fine. Feather that blue down towards that purple. Just like so. Get it feathered down. Like I said, if you touch the purple, that's okay. Just don't touch it too much. Alright, just come down. Fill that blue in. Feather the blue towards the purple. Just like that. Now, without cleaning your brush, what I want you to do is I want you to grab some of that purple that you still have left over there, and I want you to feather the purple up towards the blue and override the blue. Just like so. Now, after you override the blue, when you're feathering that up, I want you to come back and I want you to feather back down into the purple. See what we're doing there? See how we're blending those two together? We're creating a blend. So you're going to feather up into the blue, like so, and then you're going to feather back into the purple, creating that blend, just like that. Okay? feather up, feather down, feather up, and so feather down. Feather up. You're going to lift that brush up as you come up, okay? So it's a lift motion. Then you're going to feather back down. Feather up, like so, and feather down. Feather up, feather down. Feather up, and then feather down. Okay? Then what I want you to do is I want you to go back, start back over on the far side. I want you to feather down some more. Do not dip your brush again. Do not dip your brush. Just feather back down. Just feather into that purple. Okay? Just feather it down. Just feather down back into the purple. Just like that. Don't dip your brush. Okay? Then feather back up. Feather up. Don't dip the brush. Use what you have in your brush. Feather up. Feather into the blue. Do that blend. Do that nice old blend up into the blue. Okay? Now, what you've done is you have your purple background there blending up into the night sky, the blue night sky. Is that a nice way that worked? See how nicely that worked? It's all blending. You have blended both of them together to where they make this nice little transition into the blue night sky. Now, again, without rinsing your brush, okay, get some more of the blue. Don't rinse your brush. Get a little more of your blue. And coming from the edge of the purple, right here, blend up. Just feather it up. Just like so. Feather it up. We want to come into that night sky. We want to give that night sky effect, okay? So just feather up from the edge of the purple. Feather up like that. Feather it up. Going to the night sky. Feather up. Feather it up. Just feather that up. Just like so. Alright? Now, wet your brush just a little bit. Don't rinse it. Thin down that blue, because that blue's pretty thick. And I want you to go one direction. Just paint up. Paint up. Paint straight up. Go one direction. Paint straight up. Just like this. Your sky is one of the most major things in this painting. And to get some of the effects that we need to get here, you got to have this blending straight up, okay? It's really important. You'll see why in a little bit. I want you just to blend straight up. Just bring it up. Just blend it straight up. Just like so. Blend it straight up. Don't go back and forth. Whatever you do, do not go back and forth. I just want you to come straight up with that brush stroke. Straight up. If you feel like you need to wet your brush, wet your brush. Come straight up into it. Straight up. When you see the effect that this is going to give under the black light, it will blow you away. You'll probably go, man, that's all I want to do from now on is black light paintings. I want to cover my whole room in black light paintings. Well, that's what we used to do back when I was in high school. But that's another story. Okay, once you get that done, once that's all done, and you've brushed all that up, you can see you have some texture going on here. You got some different layers. You got this blending here. You got all this blending in here like it should. Clean that brush out. Okay. Our next step, make sure that brush is really clean. It has to be really clean here. Our next step in our little painting here, you know what I want to do? Take some of this purple that we have here. It's a nice thing when you're doing a painting. You might see something that you want to do different. So you just do it. I'm going to do this. I definitely want to do that, yeah. I'm just going to blend that up a little bit, okay? Alright, let me clean my brush again. Alright. Now, as soon as I'm sure my brush is good and cleaned, which it is, now we're going to do the orange here. I had to get a drink. We're going to get the orange done in the pumpkin, but we're going to do this in a certain way. We're going to, remember how we blended here? We're going to do the same thing inside the pumpkin. So, let me remove my little piece of tin foil from the top of the tube. Oh, killing me, Smalls. Hey, I got that one off without getting any paint on my finger. Alright, I'm going to squeeze some of my orange out here. See, that's a bright orange. Squeeze that out. And what I'm going to do, we're going to go in the center part of the pumpkin. Don't do the top, okay? We're going to go in here and we're going to fill in that center part of the pumpkin. So we'll just go in here, we'll throw that paint in. Just like so. Just going to put it in there. And fill in the center of the pumpkin. Come in here. When I was a kid, I used to love to carve jack-o'-lanterns. We'd buy like 2 or 3 pumpkins, and me and my mom and my sister would carve these jack-o'-lanterns. My sister was never really very interested in it, but she'd help a little bit, and then she'd go off and do something else. But I remember me and Mom making these jack-o'-lanterns. I remember the smell. If you've carved a jack-o'-lantern, you know what I'm talking about. You know that smell. And that is a smell of Halloween. It's not a pumpkin spice smell. It's more of an earthy smell. That's the only way I know how to describe it. It's an earthy smell. But Yeah, if you've ever carved a jack-o'-lantern, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Love that smell. You know, they got foam rubber jack-o'-lanterns that you can buy like at Hobby Lobby or even Michael's, and they're called carvable. You know, craft pumpkins. No. No on so many levels. If I'm going to carve a pumpkin, I'm going to carve a real pumpkin. Why do I want to carve a foam pumpkin? Well, you know, oh well, you may want to use it again next year, Gypsy. That's not what's fun about it. What's fun is you create this jack-o'-lantern and eventually just kind of deteriorates into nothing. You know, they just kind of fold in on themselves. And you throw them away. And you don't think about it again until next Halloween. And then you go, man, I'm going to carve a pumpkin. I don't want to keep that pumpkin hanging around my house all year long. Thank you. You know, maybe you do, but honestly, I don't. I have no desire to keep that pumpkin hanging around my house. I want to create it, I want to enjoy it, and then I want to forget it until next Halloween. Okay, so once you do your first coat on your orange, I want you to go back to where you started at, and I want you to put a second coat on there. Just go ahead, even if it's wet, that's fine. Just go ahead and put a second coat on it. It'll darken it up a little bit. This neon paint dries fairly fast, so I wouldn't goof off while doing this. I'd get it done as quickly as possible. Get that on there. Let's get that on there. Just like so. Okay, so now we have the orange of our pumpkin on there. Don't clean your brush. Do not clean your brush. We want to keep that orange in there. What we're going to do now is we're going to go for the pink. We're going for the pink. Is that the pink? No, pink's over here. We're going to get the pink. And again, I gotta get that little tab off of there. Those little tabs on top of these tubes have become the bane of my existence. But once they're off, you know, I don't have to worry about them after that. Okay. Get rid of that. Get some of this neon pink. Now, I don't care too much for neon pink, to be honest with you. And I'll tell you the story while we fill this in. These areas of the pumpkins we haven't hit yet, we're going to do with this neon pink. Don't rinse your brush. Keep the orange that's in there, okay? And just these areas that we have not hit yet, hit it with that neon pink. So, years ago, the lottery in Nevada was these three machines. A ultra blue one, an ultra orange one, and an ultra pink one, or fuchsia. And I've never really cared that much for this color, to be honest with you. Well, every time I went into this place called Sierra Sid's in Sparks, Nevada, I would play one of those machines. It was 3/4, 75 cents to play them. And there was a tally board up above, and every time somebody put in money, you know, the tally board would change. Well, this particular day I started to play the pink machine, and I changed my mind, and I played the blue machine because blue's my favorite color. Well, of course I didn't hit anything, but right after I pulled the handle on the blue machine, you know, and I didn't get anything, this guy comes out of the restaurant with a bunch of children in tow, And he's telling them about the evils of gambling and how if they throw their money into one of these evil machines, how they're just throwing away their money. They're better to put the money in the bank, not to give it to Satan. That's how he's telling them that, the machines are Satan. And he says, let me show you. And he proceeds to take out 3 quarters and he drops them into the pink machine, the fuchsia machine. And when the bells and whistles started going off, I looked up at the tally board and it was 23 million some odd dollars, and it went to 0. The guy is jumping up and down, screaming at the top of his lungs how rich he is, how bloody rich he is. The kids are looking confused. I looked at the children and I said, you want to see true evil? There's true evil right there. You're looking at it. The parents of these kids look like a church group. They come out of the restaurant, wanted to know what was going on. And I said, I think he just found Satan. And I said, hey, bud, if it's that evil, I said, you can just give it to me. I said, I'm probably going to hell anyway. But no, he didn't. He collected his $23 million and forgot all about how evil gambling was. He was a great example for those children. By the way, just for the record, I don't plan on going to hell. I am saved. I know my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I am definitely on my way to heaven, hopefully, if the Lord so deems it. But I wouldn't mind at the 23 million, would you? No. So that's my story of why I don't like neon pink. All right. So after you fill in all those areas, right, I want you to go back. I want you to darken the pink, but when you darken the pink, remember the brushing upwards that we did above? I want you to do it with the neon pink below. Brush upwards into the orange. Do it. Finish filling in those areas, make sure they're filled in, and brush up into the orange, just like that. Do it everywhere, just like so. Just like so. Come over here. It's going to darken your pink at the same time you do this. And that's what you want it to do. You want to darken that pink and brush up into the orange. Kind of make it blush a little bit. Brush up and feather that up into the orange. Do it at the top. Come back down, go back over what you've already done, and feather back into the orange. Do it again. One feather back into the orange, just like that. Come here, feather back into the orange. Just like so. Do it over here. You want to feather back down into the orange, just like that. Do it over here on this side. Feather back into the orange. Now once you get that done, I want you to rinse your brush. Clean it out. Go back to your orange. And I want you to feather up into the pink. Feather up into the pink. Then come down and feather down into the pink. See what I'm doing? So, about halfway, you're going to feather up into the pink. About halfway down, you're going to feather down into the pink. Keep that nice, smooth flow going. So, feather up into the pink, like so. And then feather down into the pink. Feather down to the pink. Feather down into the pink. like that. And then feather up into the pink. Feather right up into the pink. Feather down into the pink. What we're doing here is we're doing blends, okay? Which are going to look, they look good in regular light, but they're going to look even better in black light. Alright, got that done? Excellent. Alright, clean your brush out. Now, what I want you to do is I want to take your neon yellow, and we're going to use it a couple of different places here. And of course, again, I have to pull the little aluminum tag off of there. Alright, we're going to put that over there. Alright, so the neon yellow, get you a little out there on the deal. And what you're going to do, the brush is clean now, okay? And it's moist. You're going to go ahead and you're going to go inside the eyes here. Now if you got a little overrun paint, that's okay. You can blend it back and use it. Make it useful in your glowing eyes. So just put that yellow inside the eyes. Just like so. Do both eyes in yellow. Just like that. Get the nose. Do the nose in yellow. Do the mouth in yellow. Just like so. Okay, now once you do that, once you come down here on this grass that you did a while ago, and I want you to fill that in yellow. Fill the grass in yellow. Once you get your grass filled in yellow, what I would like you to do is come back to the eye that you started on, the very first eye, and I want you to go ahead and go back over that again. Give it a second coat of yellow. Then give the other eye a second coat of yellow. Like so. Give the nose a second coat of yellow. And give the mouth a second coat of yellow. Just like that. Okay? Now, using your yellow, do this extremely carefully because we don't want to overdo this, okay? This is important. Don't overdo this. What I want you to do is on your moon, I want you to do a little half circle like that. And taper it off. Come back from the other side and taper it off. Just like that. Okay? Real simple. Then, remember this glow in the dark. This is a neutral glow in the dark. What you're going to do without rinsing out your brush. Once you take some of that neutral glow in the dark, put it on your brush, and I want you to come in here, and I want you to cover the rest of the moon using the neutral glow in the dark without cleaning out your brush, okay? Just cover that whole moon in that neutral glow in the dark, just like that. Get the whole moon covered. Just like so. Using the neutral glow in the dark. Just come around and cover in the moon like that. Okay? Then I want you to grab a small amount of orange. Very tiny bit, just a little bit on the tip of your brush. I want you to come in here and I want you to blend that orange. Remember that original swipe that we did? We're going to go over that same swipe. We needed a solid base of yellow down there to make this work right. Then just slowly work up and blend it up. Just like so. I'm just going to blend it up. We're doing some blending here. Okay. I think I want a little more orange in this, so I'm just going to come down here at the bottom. I'm going to do my swipe like so, and then I'm going to work it up. Just like that. We're just going to work that up. We're going to make sure that we go over this whole thing, follow the curve of the moon, just like that. And keep a nice little moon-like texture going here. Okay? So, we got that. I think I'm going to get just, I don't know, I want a little more orange. You know, it's your painting. You can do with it what you want. Sometimes I see these things, I go, maybe I want a little bit more of this. So I'm just going to work it up. Work it around, work it in. Just like so. I want to make sure I keep that curve going though, okay? That's very important. You want to keep that curve. If you don't keep that curve, it's going to look kind of funny later on. So just make sure you keep the curve going. Just keep the curve going. I'm liking the shade that's coming out now. Okay, I'm a little bit happier with that. Okay, and I'm going to go and darken up just the bottom a little bit more. I'm going to get a little bit more orange, and I'm going to darken up the bottom just a little bit more, but I'm not going to mess too much with the top. I'll just blend it up and blend it out. Up and out, and I'm done with that. Okay. I'm really happy with that bottom. I'm really happy with the overall moon, but I really like the bottom of it, how it looks. Okay, clean your brush. Get your brush cleaned out. Now we're going to get the green. Get that neon green. I bet you were wondering when we were going to use that, weren't you? Well, guess what? You don't have to wonder anymore because we're going to use it now. So oh, look at this. I missed some of the grass down here, right here. See, that just goes to show you I'm not perfect. Never claimed to be. There we go. Better clean that brush back out. Okay. So now we're going to take some of this neon green. We're going to grab it. We're going to start down here with this grass. So what we're going to do is we're going to brush. Remember the brushing that we've been doing through this whole painting? Oh, that's what we're doing here too. We're going to brush. We're just going to kind of lightly brush that grass in there. Just like that. And we'll lightly brush some grass over here. Just like so. And you put that up. And then brush some grass in over here, like so. Get that brushed in there. Brush a little bit more here. Brush a little grass in here. Like that. Okay. Now once you get that grass brushed in there, I want you to go back, start where you started at over here. I want you to make it a little bit darker. Go over it a second time, make it a little darker. Just like that. Do it on all of the grass that you did. Go in, second time, make it a little darker. Do it here, make it a little darker. Come over here, make it a little darker. Just like so. Keep that brush effect going, okay? Now once you get your grass done, once all that's done, I want you to take that neon green, I want you to do the stem of the pumpkin. Paint that entire stem of the pumpkin, that neon green. See, we finally got around to using it, didn't we? So we're going to do that. We're going to paint that neon green. How's your pumpkin looking so far? It's looking as cool as mine's looking. Mine's looking pretty cool. Okay, then go back over, give it a second coat. Just to darken it up. Just give it that second coat and darken it up. Okay, once you have your pumpkin stem done, rinse your brush out. And now we're going to use our black. So here's our black. Always make sure you shake things up before you use them. Put my black down there. I'm going to start up here with my bat at the very top here. I'm going to get my bat filled in. So just fill in your bat with black. You don't have to use any detail here. Throw some black in there. Just like that. There you go. Just like that. Put your little bat in there. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our trees. So, just fill those in. Like so. And get all your trees filled in. Black, spooky looking trees. Just like so. Just keep working till you get all those trees filled in. You know, one of the nice things about painting is you can actually get lost in the painting, in the process of the painting. It's very cathartic. And watching the brush lay the paint down can really kind of quiet your soul a little bit. Well, that sounds kind of corny, but it's true. Sound of that brush on that canvas, watching the paint slowly go on and fill in those areas is a very soothing, very therapeutic experience. You know, there's been a lot of talk recently about paint therapy. Well, paint therapy is simply just painting. You don't have to be anything special. You don't have to, oh, I need to paint my trauma. No, you don't need to paint your trauma. You just need to paint. The painting will take care of that trauma for you. I guarantee it. Just paint and get lost in the sound of the brush on the canvas and the flow of the paint. Now, you're going to do black here on the bottom too, in the shadow. Just cover that shadow in black. Notice how that paint just kind of flows in there. It just flows in. Just like so. Just flow it in. This black, since it is a solid black and it's not neon in any way, shape, or form, it's going to add quite an effect to your painting when you put it underneath the black light. I don't know how many of you that are taking this course remember blacklight posters from the 70s, but they were quite a big thing. But one of the things that made them stand out was the black in the poster. The color against the black. Usually the black was like a sort of a velvet that had been sprayed onto the painting or onto the poster. But the black and the blacklight poster is what really made the colors, the fluorescent colors, when they were put underneath the blacklight, just really pop out. Now, I'm not kidding, and I wish I actually had it, but a friend of mine had a Velvet Elvis. In case you don't know what Velvet Elvis is, it's a painting that's done in Mexico of Elvis Presley that's done on black velvet. A friend of mine had a Velvet Elvis that was done in neon colors. It was the trippiest thing I ever saw in my entire life. It was so funny. It was before Elvis had ever passed away. I wonder if he ever saw one of them, what he thought of it. Velvet Elvis in neon blacklight paint. I wish I could get my hands on one of those. That'd be so fun. All right. Once you get your trees all taken care of, take a look around for anything you might have missed. I see a couple of things I missed. I need to clean my brush out. Need a little purple. Touch right here. Now, I'm not quite done with that stem yet. I bet you thought I was done with the stem, didn't you? Nope, not quite. What I'm going to do with the stem now is I'm going to take and do this. We're going to make it look like an actual stem on a pumpkin. Come back over here. Look at that. Now, what you can do is you can take your black and using your liner brush, you can go into different places where you might have had an overrun of paint. And just go in there with your liner brush and touch it. And fill it in. Like that. Come in here. And just take care of those little overruns of paint that you might have had here and there. Just by throwing some black over the top of them. Okay. Once you get that done, let's smooth this out up here at the top. Once you get that done, then, to me, this is the fun part. This is absolutely 100% the fun part. Remember I told you about a little surprise that the painting's going to have? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your neutral, if you have to, if you got yellow mixed in the neutral, go ahead and pour you out a little more of that neutral glow in the dark. Okay, so grab some of that neutral glow in the dark, get on your brush. Then this paint up here should be dry. What I want you to do is I just want you to kind of brush a little bit up in there with this neutral glow in the dark. You are not going to see it. It should just totally disappear. Just come around and just kind of give it a little brush around the outside of the moon, kind of like a halo around the moon. Just like so. See? You can't really see it, can you? No, you can't. Take your liner brush and using that neutral, go in here and put in a few star shapes. You know, typical, just cross the pattern star shape. Do some small, do some big, just go in here and do them. Just do some typical little star shapes in there. Go different places on your canvas and do them. Just little star shapes. Using that neutral. Go in here and put one over here. Put those little star shapes in. Then dot some stars in. Here and there. Just do some little dots of stars. Just dot them in. Put them into your night sky. You may want to put a little, put a little star shape right here. Like so. Dot them in. Like that. Rinse your brush out. Now, as soon as your painting's dry, wait until it dries to do this, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to take your Sharpie and I want you to come back in and I want you to re-outline areas like the outside edges of the eyes. Just re-outline them. Just go in here and throw an outline around them. Just redefine them like that. Do it any place. See, look, I got some black on my hand. Do it any place on your canvas that the paint may have overrun on those eyes or on the nose on the pumpkin. You don't have to worry about the rest of the canvas, but the eyes and the nose on the pumpkin are crucial. So is the mouth. So just go over it with a Sharpie. Just like that. I'm going to do it down here. Go over it with a Sharpie. Just like so. I'm going to go over this with the Sharpie right there. On the edge of the moon. Okay. Now, once you've done all of that, you have your painting. Nice painting, right? Let's find out what happens. Let's see what happens when we put the black light on it. And there you have it. Pumpkin Glow. What do you think? Your very own blacklight painting. Halloween glowing and spooky and a lot of fun to do, don't you think? I think it was. So, that's Pumpkin Glow done with blacklight paint and a little bit of just regular black acrylic. And play with it. I mean, you even got the colors glowing over here on your palette, you know. That could be a piece of art by itself right there. But you got this glowing pumpkin smiling at you and saying, Happy Halloween. Thanks a lot, Jack-o'-lantern. You've made it a good one for us. You certainly have. Now, with all that being said, look, you can't even hardly see me. So maybe I should put a little light on the subject. What do you say? Look, I'm coming back into focus. Oh, there we have it. Pumpkin Glow. Did you have fun doing it? I had fun doing this one. It was different. I like doing different. The regular, Mad Hatter Tea Party paint party paintings are a lot of fun to do, but every once in a while we need to do something a little different, just to make it interesting, just to make it fun. Don't you think? I think so. Now, I'm really interested in what you think. I'm really interested in hearing your opinions, your thoughts. I'm also interested in your questions. So please don't hesitate to send me your questions. Don't hesitate to send me your opinions and your thoughts. I want to hear them. I want to know. If you think there's something that I can do to improve the lessons for you, just tell me. I'll be more than happy to improve the lessons. I got to turn on a little more light here because there we go. We're a little dark. But please give me your opinions. Also, don't forget to sign up for Mad Hatter VIP. Become a Mad Hatter VIP, and you get big discounts on the tutorials and on art kits, and you find out about things that are happening before anyone else finds out about it. It's worth it to be a VIP. In this video, in the comment section, you will see a link to become a Mad Hatter VIP. We invite you to do that. So, next time we paint, we're still on the Halloween theme, and I believe that one's going to be called The Witch is In. The Witch is In. So that should be a lot of fun. Hey, listen, folks, I always enjoy painting with you. I enjoy trying to, teach you a few things, and I hope you are learning a few things. I hope you enjoy painting. You don't just have to paint with me. Paint on your own. Have fun. Have fun with it. Don't ever take it too serious. Have fun. That's the most important thing of all. Anyway, until next time, this is your friendly neighborhood gypsy saying, may God bless and keep you and yours. Later, Gators. Hasta la vista, baby. Bye-bye now.